In this class, we're going to be learning how to structure the bust, which is known as bust caging, to give it a perfect fit and a good lift. Welcome to Joanne's Fashion Academy. My name is Justice. So I'm going to be showing you the items you may possibly use to cage the bust. I've heard so many persons say it must be this, it must be that, but the truth is that you can try using so many things to find out which one actually works best for you. So I'm going to be showing you different items that you can use, you can try on your own to know if actually these things can give you what you want. So first on the list we have our stay, which is very necessary for whatever you want to do. This is a cotton stay. Okay, then we have this wording. This is the light wording. You can use it to structure your bust, and this is thick wording but not so thick. It's a thick wording. You can also use it because I've tried using it before. And then we have a regeling bone, which is the sewable bone. Very, very important for you to have it. You might not possibly be needing the plastic bone. Okay, it might be too hard for the bust area, but this is just okay. And then you possibly need this is, you can call it a collar stay, you can call it a peplum stay. It's quite strong. You can also use it to structure your bust area. So in whatever you're using to structure, you must use the regeling bone, and that will help to curve the bust and give it a very nice shape. So without wasting much of your time, let's go over to the table and show you what I have to do. Yeah. So you all remember that this is a continuation of the class we started in the previous video on how to make a cupped corset. So I've transferred all the pattern to a fabric, and I ironed a cotton estate to the main fabric. I did not iron on the lining, which is by choice. But if you want it to give you a very good fit, you have to iron this on the lining also, so that everything will look good. So here, this is the lining for this. Like I said before, I've already joined this, which is the one of the main bust, the outer part of it. And so like I said before, you will not use all of these materials I showed at the same time. Okay, this is the collar stay, which you can put together. I've, I added sewing allowance only on the parts that will be joined together. I did not add sewing allowance on this part. You can see that here does not have this does not have sewing allowance, so I'm just going to sew on the fabric. But in this case, I added sewing allowance on the parts that will be joined to each other. Okay, so once you join this together, all you have to do is to get your regeling bone and begin to sew on it. You can sew the retaining bone on this one separate and then fix it to your main fabric. But in this class, we're not going to make use of this. Like I said before, you can try out different things to see how it comes out. So many persons have been using this, this. So I decided to use the wording, the thick wording, to see how it's going to come out. So since I've joined this, which is the main part for one of the bust, I'm going to join this, which I want to use for the lining, and sew the retaining bone to it. So this is how it's going to be. I'm going to join it this way. Okay, I hope you can see it. I'm going to join this like this. After joining it, I'll then fix this one on top. You remember how it is. I'll sew this one on top of it, right? Just the same way I sewed this. Join this separate and then join this one to it. So after joining, I had to run the regeling bone on top. This thing has no special way of watching to see how it is fixed. We already know that the regeling bone, you have it in different sizes. This is like half an inch. You have a part that you need to sew on top. If you sew at the middle, your thread is going to be cutting, cutting, cutting. So you have to maintain this tiny line that the needle can comfortably pass through. So I just ran one vertical and then three horizontal, which is equally by choice. You can run this at the center, right? This is on my lining at the center of your joining, and then run another one vertically to meet this, run another one vertically to all of them to meet at the same part. It is still okay. Then you cross it this way. But I decided to do only one. Everything in fashion is by choice. You must not follow it exactly the way others are doing it. Choose to do your own different and see how it is. If it's leading you to the wrong path, you change it. Okay, so here I've already joined the lining also, like I said before. The main fabric, this is the lining, this is the lining, this is the main fabric, and I ironed it. Now how do we do it? It's just to fix this one inside here and make it lap properly. You can see the way it is. I use thick wadding because my mind told me that it's going to make it have this foamy look. Okay, I don't want it to look so skinny. I wanted it to have this foamy look. You can see the way it is. Make sure you use your tailor's hammer to iron it properly and make the shape to come out beautifully well. Okay, so the next step we're going to do now is to repeat the same thing to the other parts and make sure that our cup is okay. Then once the cup is okay, I'm going to be joining this together. You know how to join your fabrics together. I'm going to be joining all of this together. The lining separate and the main fabric separate. That is how I'm going to join it. So once I finish joining, I'm going to run my regeling bone. If I want to give it structure, I'm going to run my regeling bone on the lines or wherever I create the channel for it. I'm still going to show us. So let me just go and join these pieces together. See you soon. Okay, the caging of this particular bust is going to be different from the first one. In the first one we did one vertical and three horizontals, and they started at the joining, but this one is going to be starting at the upper part, leaving sewing allowance at the upper part. Okay, and we're going to run more than one vertical and then about two or three horizontals, and then we're going to round it up like this, round the corners. So the difference, we want to see what actually is the difference in using or in structuring the bust differently. Is it going to affect the feet? Is it going to lift more? What actually is the difference? That is just what is behind us doing it this way. So I'm going to be sewing on the first part, which is this, and you know where it's going to be on the line where this um needle is going to pass through. So I actually thought that the video is covering everything. I didn't know that it wasn't up enough to cover the proper sewing. So you can see I've sewn one part, and on the boning we're going to sew on the two parts. If you sew on one and leave the others, the other one, it might not give you exactly what you want. It will not relax very well. So as you can see, I've sewn the horizontal and vertical, and next I'm going to be rounding the bust with the bone. I'm going to round it up like so, as you can see in the video. This is just where the bulk of the game is. Like, to sew it run like this, it's not an easy job, so you have to be very patient, use your muscle. As you're sewing, you're actually turning, and your thread might cut, but you need to actually do it properly well. It requires strength energy. Okay, so this is it. You can see the difference in the two bust caging. Which one do you prefer? Which one curves more? Which one do you think will give a good fit? The both of them is going to be in one dress. I hope it doesn't make any difference. So on this part we have the men fabric which I've joined without boning, and I'm going to be inserting this boning to the lining and then use it to turn the men fabric. Okay, so on the lining I'm going to be adding my boning. The boning is not going to be on the main fabric, I want it to be on the lining. So I'm going to be structuring it on the parts that I joined, on the seam lines that I joined together. You can also place it anywhere you want, whether on the joint parts or just anywhere around. So it mustn't be on the joint area, but I'm going to be joining it, to be sewing it on the joint area and then at the center. After joining, I will then fix my cup to the lining before using it to turn the main fabric. You can see the way it is here. So this is just to show you that there are so many ways you can achieve a particular thing. There's no harm in trying. Try until you get the parts that fits you more. So I've joined the boning to the part that I want to join it, and this is it. You can see the way I fixed it. The part that is the part of the boning that is curvy is going to be placed on the lining. I hope you understand the way this thing is fixed so that it's gums more to the body. Okay, the parts, the curviness of the boning, you can see the way it is on the lining. I don't know how else I want to explain it. Okay, but I know you saw when I was placing it. So I've fixed one part of the cup and I'm going to fix the other parts of the cup. All right. So there's actually nothing too serious about this except on sewing the boning, which if care is not taken, it's going to take a little time. And you can see that while placing the boning, I left allowance, sewing allowance, so that you don't join on the boning. It will not make the dress to relax properly. You need to keep sewing allowance. Don't join your sewing on the boning. It's not going to allow you to be comfortable. Okay, so after joining the lining and the boning, we're going to use it to cover our main bodice, our main fabric, and you can see the way it is. So this is just what we have for the bust caging. The dress is not yet done. We're still going ahead to complete the sewing, and I'm going to show you the picture of what it looks like. Even though it's not in this video, it might be in another video of what I want to do to this dress too. So thank you for being here. Thank you for watching us. Thank you for everything. Gradually we're going and we'll come your way very soon. We'll drop videos Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays unfailingly. So you might do well to be here with us Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So see you. Bye.